We are officially live. Sorry, you guys, you know that when we jump on a live with me, I'm about to deafen you through your headphones because I get so excited that I'm live that it's like all of the energy and the big surge of momentum channeling from spirit and I cannot contain myself and you're like, holy fuck, what did I just click on? But I want to welcome you into today's session, which is the first session of the Visibility Challenge. Now, over the next 5 days, we are going to be doing 5 days of free visibility. So if you are joining us for the 5 days, let me know. Comment down below. Let me know that you are active, that you are live, and that you are ready to crash through your limitations. Now, how this is going to work is you're going to have 5 days of live videos from me. You are going to be tired of me by the end of the 5 days, but I promise you the work that I'm bringing here is going to be super intentional and has the power to shift you rapidly in your business to reach in these really, really big cash heights. Now, for each day that I'm live, there's going to be a content post delivered inside of this group that is aimed for you to be engaged with. What we really want to create here is activity, movement, shifts in our reality. And I guarantee that it has no benefit to me how active you are inside of this challenge. But the power that happens with you is that you get to anchor into this new identity and really understand the shifts in which you're moving through. And so when we prompt these questions and we ask you to get engaged, really try to just digest and move into correspondence so that you can shift the energy that is no longer serving you and step into your most powerful version of self through these next 5 days. Now, there will be a workbook. Obviously, we do nothing by halves in the Misfit Business Lounge. And there will be a workbook that you can download for every single day of the challenge. And my team, probably Hannah, if you're here, give us a wave. Hannah will be dropping in an incredible link for you to get active with later today that 1, will remind you of every day's challenge. 2, will give you access to the workbook for day 1, which in itself should be paid for because there's so much power behind it. Now, what I will say is if you are signing up to receive emails from us, please make sure that you check your promotional folders. For some reason, somehow, the internet gods are against us and we don't end up in spam and we don't end up in junk, which means that you guys are like, I can't find your emails. It's not in my spam and it's not in my junk because it's actually hiding in your promotional folder. So the best thing that you can do is you can do a little star, and that little star just means that when you get an email from us, you're going to get notified and you're not going to miss out on any of the juice. Now, visibility. Let's go. Because I don't know about you guys, but I ain't playing this year. It's 2025. This is not the year of playing. I've been in business 7 years. I've had 7 years of incredible energy and visibility. But I'm ready to dial it up a notch. And I'm not feeling any shame around that. I'm like, let's go, baby, let's go. Let me know in the comment section if you are ready to move into that next level of visibility as well. Now, when we have this conversation about visibility, I notice that for a lot of people, it makes their skin crawl and they get slightly uncomfortable. And it's like, oh, visibility, like, oh, she's going to tell me to do all of these things and follow this one formula and this one strategy. And that makes me want to gouge my eyes out. And I don't want to do things the way that every other creator is doing. And you're going to come up with all of the reasons as to why you're not going to participate in this visibility challenge. And the reason why is deep down, you question whether it's even going to work. Now, before we go into the powerful strategy behind visibility, the powerful energy behind visibility, the one thing that I need you to understand is that visibility is essential. Now, the most toxic thing that I hear in the online space is 1, engagement doesn't matter. Now, true, engagement doesn't matter, and some of my least engaged posts have made thousands when it comes down to sales. However, if you want to build an active community who love to buy from you, who are throwing money at you whenever you launch something, then you're going to have to really understand how to get engaged with that audience And whether they're liking and commenting doesn't really matter, because visibility is more about how are they sat there feeling a certain way inside of your content. And the way that they're feeling inside of your content is making them want to participate, want to invest in you, want to work with you to a deeper degree. And so it doesn't necessarily matter whether you're getting hundreds of likes on a post, but what it does matter is that you're being engaged with. And remember, the more eyes that you, have on your brand, the deeper you can go into your next level. And so I don't want you to come into this thinking that you are beyond visibility, because visibility is at the root of every single successful business. And can you imagine if Louis Vuitton or Apple or Nike or your coaching brand or your mentorship sat there and said, visibility doesn't matter for me this year. It doesn't matter. Imagine how many eyes you are turning off of your brand. Imagine how much you're disconnecting yourself from your audience. Visibility does matter because it has the permission to take you to your next income bracket, but also create this beautiful connection between you and your audience. And if you're ready to dial it up a notch and receive clients who want to continuously buy from you, you have to sit there and say, it is safe for me to lean into visibility. Now, the reason we numb ourselves down from visibility is because of protection. We are so fucking scared that it's not going to work, that it's easier to protect ourselves. Now, I meet so many people that sit with me on a call or in my one-to-one containers, and they say that they're ready to move through their visibility challenge. They're ready to crack through the limitations. But deep down, they're stuck in this self-serving predicament of it's much easier to protect myself than it is to be let down. Let me tell you, the business arena does not have time for your emotional wounding invisibility. We get it. You're annoyed, you're frustrated, you're pissed off, you should be there by now, you should have already reached 20K cash months, you should. You can either keep self-serving or you can decide that you're going to shift the story. And what you need to decide is that protection is not serving you. Do you know what should does to your mentality? It makes you feel like you're doing every single thing possible and there is nothing else that you can do. And so it's not a you problem, it's a universe problem, and everything's against you and everything's terrible, and you throw your dummy out the pram. The universe does not have the intelligence to hold clients and money away from you right now. The internet, the algorithm, does not have the intelligence to hold money away from you right now. Yes, we are going to speak about the algorithm in this visibility challenge, because as much as it doesn't have the power to hold clients away from you, you do need to start thinking about, how do I move into the flow of getting better algorithm and taking control and radical responsibility of what it is that I desire. And let me tell you, the algorithm has shifted. I went back last night and I watched some of the videos that I'd created in 2017 when I was just kind of stepping into the online space with my business. And the algorithm was so different. There were hundreds of people on this live video interacting and commenting and engaging because it was kind of fresh and it was kind of new and it was different. And, you know, I believe that we have to move in the flow of the change, and we have to get super comfortable with what is expected and needed from us as business owners. Now, this brings me to day one of the visibility challenge. What is expected from you as a business owner? Now, if you're sat there right now and you are feeling tiresome, you feel like you've exhausted your audience, you feel like there's nobody who wants to buy from you, you feel like sales are slow and all of the things, then I can guarantee you are boring the fuck out of yourself. And you're boring the fuck out of yourself because it worked one time. You got a sale one time by creating content in this way, and you made money this one time in this one way, and so now you're like, okay, well, I'll just keep doing the same thing. I'll just keep doing the same thing, doing the same thing, doing the same thing. Now, you might be a service provider, a healer, a mentor. You might be a product provider. You might be a beauty therapist. You might be a massage therapist. This visibility challenge works regardless of who you are and how you're serving your community. Because what is so important is that we can no longer move with boredom inside of our business. You have to dial up the heat. If you are bored with how you're creating your content, I can guarantee that your audience is bored. Now, what is needed as we're going into 2025 is not for you to try to force your way out of a content slump, force your way out of an income slump. What is needed is for you to get creative and ask yourself, how am I going to light up my solar plexus to feel like I'm having more radical fun inside of my business? Now, this is something that I had to sit there and ask myself the back end of 2024. Because even though I had regular, consistent, high volumes of income, what I was noticing is that I desired more, and I felt like it was the same eyes that were on my content. But when I really reflected this to me, what I realized is that I'd stopped getting really excited by my content creation because I know what I need to say and I know how to say it. But in knowing what I needed to say and how to say it, I got quite lazy in how I communicated it. And so, yes, I was just channeling these pieces of really beautiful written content, but I wasn't thinking about how am I going to allow my audience to really engage with this from a solar plexus fuck yes. And remember, regardless of whether you're in the beauty industry, the product industry, the service provider industry, we want our clients to be having this energetic interaction that says, boom, like I am ready to go. I am ready to flow. I am ready to go. Let's work with magic. Let's connect. Let's do the thing. Let's invest. We want that. But they can only get to that point when you are in a sensory experience where you're so excited by what it is that you're creating. Now, the way to recognize whether you're in a sensory experience slump is by analyzing, how do I feel about my business right now? Am I excited? Am I ready to create? Do I feel stimulated? Or do I feel a little bit lethargic? And if you're feeling a little bit tiresome with your business, that's not a bad thing. Let's just strip that shame right now. But what we do need to ask ourselves is, what does it look like to get creative? Now, as I came through this slump in my energy towards the back end of 2024, the thing that I really recognized is that because I knew what to say, I didn't feel the creative infusion. And so I wasn't excited by my vision. Now, it's really easy to become disconnected from our vision as creators, as business owners, because when we're focused on the short term of our business, that sacrifices the long term of your energy. Now, the short term is, how do I get paid today? It's how am I building today? It's what can I say to my audience today? It's very much a today energy. The long term of your business is not thinking about how do I get paid today. It's how do I create an energetic stance that lasts with my audience. We want our audience to be so infused by what it is that we're bringing to the surface that they're not just here for today, they're here for months and months and months and months to come. Now, whether you're a service provider or a product provider, you have to be thinking about the long-term energy of your brand. Now, why are we going to consume the energy of a brand time and time and time and time and time and time and time again? Because it's serving us, because there's a sensory experience. Now, the first thing that limits that sensory experience is that short-term thinking. And with the short-term thinking, it doesn't mean that you're being greedy with thinking about how do I get paid today. But what it does mean is that you've got so focused on doing business in the right now that you've stopped asking yourself, what would actually light me up? What would get me to start thinking bigger and more powerfully and more potent? Now, when I sat with that energy, what I realized is that I am a very, very expressive soul. Like, if you've had a one-to-one session with me, you will know that I'm an expressive soul. I want my business to channel that expression. And sometimes that expression is not able to come through in a written post. And so it's really hard to channel that level of excitement and that level of selling when the written post is not necessarily lighting me up. And so I had to sit there and say, what does light me up? What is going to really allow me to feel the enthusiasm behind my business? Now, this is where I started to get creative. And you guys have probably seen these funny little humorous reels that I keep creating and just like being in my energy. And really, it's just an unplugging of what it looks like to be in my head. But the power behind this is it's making me feel fun in my content. Like, it's getting me out of my comfort zone. It's making me feel fun. It's making me think outside the box. And in today's day and age, the content that is being consumed and the content that people are ready to buy from is not necessarily how glamorous you look or how luxurious you look in your brand. Is the vibe that you're bringing to the surface. And the hair salons that are getting the most sales and the most revenue through their business right now are the ones who are being creative with how they position themselves. Gone are the days where we just throw things at a wall on social media and hope that our ideal clients find us. Social media has shifted. The way that we find our clients has shifted. And this shouldn't be something that you sit there and say, well, that's not me. Like, I don't want to get on board with this. I don't want to do the video content. I get it. You don't have to do anything you're not comfortable with. But you do have to think bigger with what is the imprint that I am leaving on social media and how am I engaging with my ideal clients? Now, what I want you to do right now is ask yourself, do you feel excited by the way in which you find clients? Yes or no? Drop it in the comments. Do you feel excited by the way in which you find clients? If the answer is no, how do you expect your clients to feel excited by the investment that they are leaning into? Now, this might find and feel quite strategical. But right now I am in a 4-year study program for studying neuroscience. And I'm studying neuroscience because energetically I understand, scientifically I'm ready to anchor in a little bit deeper. I want you to know that we have shifted in the way that we buy. And so emotion is at the root, and social media has had a huge impact on this. Emotion is at the root of investment for a lot of people. And emotion happens in different ways. It happens through us telling a story. So we showcase what it looks like on the flip side. Let's say you want to show somebody what it looks like to be in freedom and expansion. You show them that through the story of embodiment. So one, you have to embody what it is that you're sharing. And so if you want your audience to feel really fucking excited by money, you want them to feel fucking excited by sales, you want them to feel expansive in their reality, you have to show them the embodiment that you are carrying. Now, embodiment has to be grounded in your fullest connection with self. So let's say you're an NLP practitioner and you want other people to be stepping into their joy of life, their reframing of connection with themselves. You want them to see that life is not just this boring thing. How are you going to do that when all you ever do is sit behind a computer screen? All you ever do is create sales content. All you ever do is try to tell them what they should be reframing, but you're not showing them any example. The people that are getting the sales right now are the ones that are showing the embodiment. Show me that you're in nature, being an expressive freak, and you're like channeling your inner wild side. Show me that you are embodied in your sales process. Show me that you're getting results in your business if you're a business coach. Those are the things that are showing an example and allowing me to feel a certain way. Whatever it is that you are guiding your clients through right now, you have to show them the embodiment. Now, if you are, let's say, a beauty therapist, you own a hair salon, any of those things, the story begins with showing your audience how good you are at what it is that you're doing. I know that I find the majority of my appointments now through Instagram because I want to go to an aesthetic clinic and see visibly, like that's a vibe, the energy there. That's a vibe, that feels good. It feels clean, but it also feels vibey. I can see the results through the videos that they're creating. I can see the client testimonies. I can see the before and afters. How I chose my current hairdresser is she had a lot of damaged hair pictures to like really beautiful hair pictures. And I realized that my hair was super damaged at the bottom. It wasn't just about the before and after picture. It was how she presented that, how she took me through that story and that journey that made me say, that's the hair salon that I want to go to. You have to be thinking about how you're painting that picture. I want you to think about the message that you want to get across to your audience right now. You want them to connect with spirit. You want them to feel energized in their money relationship. Whatever that message is that you want to get across to your clients, I want you to drop it down below in the comments. Once you've got clear on what that message is, I want you to ask yourself, can my audience feel this when they're present with me on social media? And this is something I had to take myself through last year. I said, I want my audience to feel so fucking activated in who they get to be, their expression, their power, their magic, their depth. And I sat there and I was like, but do I feel this? And I didn't, because do you know why? Content had become so easy for me to create that I wasn't channeling my creativity. And I went to performing arts school as a kid. I'm naturally very like creative, and I like to be a little bit humorous. And so I realized that because I didn't have to, I was getting lazy. Because I didn't have to create the humorous spirit reels, I wasn't. Because I didn't need to do this, I wasn't. But actually, by integrating them into my daily routine, it can take 5 minutes to create a funny, humorous energy. By doing that, I actually was setting my solar plexus on fire. And so it wasn't about creating a new strategy to benefit my audience. It was, how the fuck do I feel activated by what I'm showing my audience when I'm challenging the way in which I create content? You could be selling goddamn stationery, but get out of your head with how you sell that stationery. We don't just want a picture of your stationery. We want you to show the embodiment, the fun, the expansion. I fucking love stationery. Like, I would spend hundreds of thousands on stationery because, like, I just love it. I feel like it gets, like, that's what turns me on, right? Every woman gets turned on by stationery. But I want to feel the vibe of that. Like, I want to feel the energy of that. I don't just want to buy a pen that I can buy from Staples. Like, I want to feel the energy that's unleashed through this one workbook or this one journal prompt or whatever it may be. So what is the energy that you want to emit to your audience, and are you bringing it at the energetic capacity in which you desire? I realized I wanted to show more expression. So by asking myself, how am I going to show more expression? I had to get really comfortable with, well, where have I got over comfortable with myself? Where have I stopped expressing myself? Where have I stopped feeling like a vibe? Where have I stopped feeling like that expressive, big, bold character? And so then I was able to say, well, who do I need to be in my vibe? Who do I need to be in my pictures? Who do I need to be in my videos? What do I need to bring to the surface in my content that feels more of an embodiment of the standard in which I desire? You are constantly painting a picture to your clients, regardless of the industry that you're in. And it is your job and your responsibility to create that emotional interaction. Now, if you're not creating that emotional interaction, that's on you. That's not on anyone else. That is on you, because it's your job to create that emotional infusion. We are currently, as buyers, in a right side of the brain buying. Now, what this means is we have two sides of the brain, the left side and the right side. The left side is more logic infused, right? And this is where we're analyzing every decision in which we're making. The right side is very much dependent on our emotional energy. And because of social media, people are buying through emotions. This is why we're seeing such a huge increase of influencers and people who are making money through social media, because they're very, very good at showing the embodiment of who they are and not needing to force that or try too hard or try to sell. They're showing the vibe of the energy and the expression and the emotional intelligence. Now, is this starting to land? Can you see some shifts coming into your mentality right now? Number one, how are you painting that picture? Number two, are you clear on the picture that you're trying to create? Now, I meet so many people that might be a healer or a business coach or a money manifesting coach, whatever it may be. And they think they're crystal clear on what they're trying to showcase to their audience. But actually, they're not. And they're not because, yes, they're creating beautiful content, but there's no clarity in what it is that you're really doing for me. If I come to your social media right now, is it visibly clear what you do for me? Can I think, do you know what, Shani? You're the one that is going to guide me to get out of my head right now and step fully in to my passion and my connection with myself. Do I get that? Gemma, can I come into your space and think, ooh, like Gemma is the one that's going to guide me into that connection with spirit, that expression with spirit? The answer might be yes, the answer might be no, but these are the things that we need to be thinking about. So before you can start to turn up the heat on your sales, it's not just about saying, well, how do I get more leads and how do I get more eyes on me? It's about what is the feeling that I'm creating for myself and then mirror reflecting back to my audience. If you're not excited, they're not excited. If you're not challenging yourself, they're not challenging themselves. The biggest thing that I've noticed is it's so fucking easy to get comfortable. But being comfortable is the biggest element for divorce. When we look at people that are getting divorced, there's two things. They either get comfortable or they're having financial difficulty. The majority of the time, it's going to be one of those two things that has triggered the divorce. My parents, I know full well that getting comfortable played a huge part in their separation. Because when we get comfortable, what do? We stop making effort. We stop feeling good. How many people do you know that start working from home and they start to live in gym leggings and then they stop feeling good and then they stop allowing themselves to feel connected to themselves on a day-to-day basis and they start to hide behind their computer, and before you know it, they're so disconnected from themselves and their reality because they're just so comfortable. They're just so comfortable sitting at home. They're just so comfortable in the four walls. When we get over comfortable, we sacrifice our energy field. It's so fucking comfortable to create content in the way that we've always created content. It's so fucking comfortable to be comfortable in your relationship. It's so comfortable to sit and watch TV together. TV is not going to build your relationship. It's like those people that go to the cinema for date night. Do not go to the cinema for a date night. That is the most disconnecting date night you could possibly have. You need to be having fun with your partner. You need to be challenging yourself. You need to be getting out of your comfort zone. It was our date night on Saturday and I made Lewis take me to bingo and we kept getting told off for being too noisy. He was full of old people. We kept getting told off for being too noisy, but we were living our best life. We were having fun and we were doing something we'd never done together. You have to challenge yourself to be in that energy. You have to challenge yourself to stop being comfortable. Now, it can be comfortable to just get ChatGPT to create your content for you. And there's a time and place for that. And it gives great framework. But what would be less comfortable is to use it for the framework, get really out of your comfort zone and think, how do I challenge myself to create content that I've never created before that feels like a really big stretch, but it's getting me excited and it's making me feel new and it's making me feel excited and this feels different and holy fuck, this feels so good. It would be comfortable to show your audience what you're selling and just expect them to buy it. It would be a challenge to stop expecting them to buy it and start feeling the heat of how fucking expanded you feel in that offer and let them get excited by how they get to work with you. It would be comfortable to sit there and expect the sales to come. It would be uncomfortable to start to learn the strategies that allow the sales to come. You have to stop being comfortable. Comfortable is sacrificing your energy field. Comfortable is sacrificing your standard. It's sacrificing how you show up. Your audience want you to take yourself fucking seriously and stop being comfortable. Now, all you feminine flow sisters are going to come at me right now because I'm going to use a word that a lot of people are not going to like. However, it's the truth. And you know, around here, like, I don't do anything but the truth. You've got so fucking lazy with your business that you just expect that one day the divine gods are going to make it work. Admit it. You just think that one day something's going to change and one day something's going to happen and I'll just leave it to fate. Because you've got so fucking comfortable with how you do things that you think you're open to a bigger reality, but in reality, you're stopping yourself from living that bigger reality. Nobody is going to save you. You are not entitled to success. You are not entitled to 100K month. And you can sit here and you can say, I've had my hardship. I've had my trauma. I deserve the 100K month. You do not deserve shit. We are all fucking worthy. But the ones who are receiving are the ones who have put themselves into an invitation of a bigger energy. You want more, you become more. You want more, you step into more. This is why you have to stop being lazy. Bare minimum. Do you think the people playing at 100K months are playing at bare fucking minimum? Absolutely not. They are challenging themselves. They are thinking bigger. Bare minimum for me right now would be to put a post on social media and just expect that people are going to buy. Raise your hands if you've done that in the past. Bare minimum for me right now would be to just send an email and just expect that people are going to buy. Bare minimum for me right now would be to say to ChatGPT, like, hey, just tell me what to say to my audience right now and let's just post that. That's bare minimum. Getting into your next level of energy is not bare minimum. It's the long term of your business. Is this the brand that you want to deliver? Is this the energy that you want your audience to be connecting with? No, we want them to be feeling a fucking vibe. We want them to be feeling that level of energy. We want them to be stimulated. How do they get stimulated? They get stimulated because you get stimulated. And just check in with your body for 1 minute. Close your eyes, just check in with your body for 1 minute. Are you excited and stimulated by your brand right now? Are you waking up every day and thinking, sister, it is time to move. We are here. We are doing the thing. If the answer is no, I don't want it. Like, the only thing that I'm here for in this lifetime is to live a big, bold, expansive life. If I don't feel it, I don't want it. It would have been so comfortable for me to say, do you know what? I have over 50K of recurring income. I don't need to go live today. I don't need to do a challenge. Like, I'm good. I'm held. But I'm like, do you know what I feel when I come off a live and I've done a challenge with you guys? I'm getting super high pitched because I'm excited. Do you know what I feel? I feel expanded. I feel momentum. I feel energy. I feel unleashed. I feel power. I feel all of these really big, bold, expressive feelings circling my body. And so that's why I do it. I don't need to do this. Like, my business is good. My business is held. But for what I feel when I do this, like, give it to me every day. Right? That has to be the priority. How do you feel when you hide behind your computer, put one post on social media, and then go and swallow in your pajamas today? Does that feel expressive? Does that feel bold? Does that feel like leadership? Does that feel your expansive life? Don't get me wrong. There are days where I will sit and do nothing other than binge Netflix because we're about balance. But what we're not about is hiding from our most powerful, radiant identity. Which brings me to the point of who is your powerful identity? And this is something that I feel like I've had to even turn the heat on the last couple of weeks of like, Mama, who do we desire to be? Because I know I'm ready for that next level of visibility. I'm ready to be seen at an even bigger level. And so I've had to say to myself, like, who am I? Who am I at that bigger level? It's not about anything other than my leadership, than my power, than my connection. And that leadership is channeled by, how am I getting out of my comfort zone? What am I doing to step into that next level? And so if we look at this from how am I getting out of my comfort zone? One, I'm thinking bigger about the things that I'm putting out there, the visuals of my brand. Am I just putting it out there really fast? Or am I thinking about, ooh, this carousel that we're making, or this picture that I'm taking, does it fucking excite me? If the answer is no, I don't want it. We're not leaning into that. This reel that I'm creating, am I just talking to the camera, or does it feel expressive? Does it feel energized? Ooh, it feels energized. Okay, I want it. I want more of that. This sale that I'm putting out there, am I just expecting people to buy, or am I taking radical responsibility into the leadership? The podcast that I have on YouTube, am I just networking within the circle that I've always networked in, or am I challenging myself? I've been sending some really bold pitches out to some really big business owners that feel really uncomfortable. Do I have the audacity to interview these people? Oh my gosh, this feels big and it's out of my comfort zone, and holy fuck, this is a stretch, but I'm gonna do it because guess what? We're not playing with comfortable. I'm not just gonna do comfortable. I'm not just gonna live in comfort because I desire bigger, because I want to play in a bigger energy. Ooh, my Facebook group, how am I going to really challenge people to get active there? Because I am not fucking here for this vibe. Misfits, what have we been playing at? What has the energy been in this group? I bet the majority of you haven't even been seeing the content inside of the Misfits. Is that a you problem? Absolutely not. Is that a me problem? Yes. Why? I got comfortable. I got so comfortable with, I'll just show up in the Misfit group with the content that I'm creating everywhere else, and that's enough. The energy of the Misfits is, sister, we got work to do. Let's do it together. Let's play. Let's be in the energy. Let's be live. Let's be back and forth. Let's have stimulant connection. And so I need to revive this, and I need to bring more energy here, and I need to play in that bigger connection. What steps could you take right now in your business to play in a bigger energy? Drop it in the comments section. What steps could you take in your business right now to play in a bigger energy? remember, you cultivate the hot audience. And if you haven't taken my hot audience workshop, comment down below. I'll get the team to drop the link because chef's kiss, really powerful. You create that hot audience, and you create a hot audience by asking, am I being the heat in my business right now? Am I just expecting money to flow, or am I feeling the flow of money? I never expect money to flow because I'm not entitled. I feel the flow of money by my energy, and your energy is the biggest measure as to whether you are activated. Notice I'm not using the word aligned. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not using the word aligned. Now, aligned is such a buzzword. We've all heard the word aligned. We need to shift into alignment. We need to make ourselves more aligned. Now, I get it. And there is definitely a place for this word. But what I'm going to say is it's safe to be out of alignment. It's safe to be out of alignment for the things that you love. And I'm going to mirror reflect this to the conversation of motherhood. Now, if you're a mom, you will know that it's very rare that you feel in complete 100% alignment, like in motherhood. I run a tight ship. Like this morning, I dropped the kids off. I actually went out for a coffee with some mom friends. I did the food shopping. I came back. I prepped the slow cooker, and then I'm like, okay, honey, let's go to work. Let's do the thing. So then I'm on my Voxer and I'm chatting and I'm communicating. But then it'll turn to like this afternoon, and it's like, it's dance class, and remember this bag and do this thing. Then we're having tea. Then let's do homework. Then let's do this. There's a lot, right? And so we're out of balance for our kids because we love them and we want to be the best parent that we can possibly be. It's the same for your business. There's going to be times when you're out of balance. There's going to be times when you are out of balance in your business. And guess what? That is not something that you should shame yourself for. There are times where I have to give more to my business. I don't care. I don't care that this morning I've had to run down and do a million things and then I'm dropping live because I know the value in this live. I know the value in this challenge. I know the value in this connection. It is safe to be out of balance for the things that you love. And if you look at this scientifically, the Earth's axle is actually out of balance, right? We're not in this perfect alignment. We're actually out of balance. And so the frequency is, you're going to be out of balance. You are going to be out of balance. You are never going to feel like you get this perfect time between motherhood and business and this and that and all the different things. But that's life. And we can still create through that balance, because I know there'll be days where I plan on doing this, 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 and this, and it doesn't get done. And that's fine. I don't let that stop me from selling. I have 4 people in my inbox right now that are waiting for readings. That hasn't stopped me from showing up and doing what I envisioned doing, because I know that after this, then I've dedicated time to do those readings. And so I'm trusting the flow of, I don't need to pause one thing to do one thing, to flow in one thing. Like, it all gets to be, it all gets to exist. Are you allowing yourself to be out of balance for the things that you love? Or are you craving this perfect harmony that is actually keeping you sacrificed? Because the perfect harmony is never going to exist. I work very minimal hours in comparison to most people, because I know what feels good to me and what doesn't feel good to me. But I also know that sometimes I'll go beyond those hours because there's things that need doing and there's energy that needs communicating and all of the things. It's fine. It all gets to exist. But the biggest self-sacrifice that I created in my visibility was, it's going to feel good always. It doesn't always feel good always. I have to allow myself to let it feel good. And here's where I'm going to explain this a little bit deeper. We've heard that toxic spiritual thing of, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Okay, well, if I had lived my life by that, I wouldn't do shit. Because some mornings you just wake up and you're like, doesn't feel good to get out of bed today, not gonna do it. Doesn't feel good to go to the gym today, not gonna do it. Doesn't feel good to maintain a healthy lifestyle today, not gonna do it. See what I'm getting at? Like, it doesn't always feel good. You have to make it feel good. You have to get through your threshold. For example, right now, I'm not eating white carbs because I recognize they close down my body. And with the journey that I've been through in my health, I know that white carbs actually are not needed by my body. And when I put them into my body, how do I feel? And I'm measuring that and I'm understanding that. And so, yes, I might have them as a treat, but I've had to measure, this doesn't make me feel good. Now, do I love bread? Absolutely. I make the most banging homemade bread. And let me tell you, nothing beats home, fresh, warm bread with butter on. Now, I make homemade bread for the kids, for their lunchbox and all of the things. That is my guilty pleasure. Does it feel good to not eat that bread? Absolutely not. Do I want the bread? Absolutely, I want that bread. Like, give it to me. I could eat a full loaf of white, fresh, home-cooked bread with butter on. But that's not in the greatest good of my higher self. And so sometimes it doesn't feel good to be committed to your future self. And sometimes you're not going to feel good saying no. But if you want what it is that you want, you have to set the fucking standard. This is a you problem. You have to get so fucking clear on the standard. Because if you sit there today and you're like, oh, it doesn't feel good to create a reel today because, oh my God, I'm just so manically disconnected from myself because I didn't get a sale and I'm going to throw all of that out of the pram and whatever. I'm so comfortable. I don't need to do shit. Okay. You live that life, but you're going to keep telling yourself it doesn't feel good, so I'm not going to do it. But you're not actually ever allowing yourself to get to the excitement. I truly believe, again, cancel me, whatever, do whatever with this as you will. The online space is so crazy these days. I'm like, someone's going to have a problem with something, whatever. I honestly believe the majority of people trigger themselves into a state of sadness, into a state of frustration, into a state of depression. Why? Because it's fucking comfortable. It's fucking comfortable to allow yourself to feel angry at the world. It's fucking comfortable to allow yourself to be depressed. It's comfortable for you to sit there and let your feelings eat away at you. It's comfortable. And it's so comfortable that you've got really, really good at like, there's no way that I can shift this. There's no way that I can feel better. Yes, there is. It's like when money isn't flowing right now. We don't sit there and say, money's not flowing. There's no way that I can make money flow. And so I'm just going to wallow in this self-pity and, oh my God, this is so dramatic and nothing's happening for me. Okay, boo-boo. You sit in that energy and watch your business go to shit. Or you decide, fuck that shit. Let's get creative. Let's play around. Like, I want to make myself feel spicy. Let's let the energy flow. How am I going to get excited? Oh, I'm feeling the vision. I'm feeling the excitement. Oh, this feels good. And oh my God, I suddenly see where the money's going to come from because this feels good now. And all the ideas and the infinite potential is opening up because of how you feel. Are you triggering yourself into feeling lack? Are you shaming yourself into feeling like you're stuck? Are you shaming yourself into frustration just because you don't know how to choose to feel good? Imagine if you just chose to get excited by your business and by the future of your business. What would that open for you? What would that bring to the surface for you? Now, I'm going to ask a really powerful, potent question before we jump off today. This question is, if I was to ask you, what is your vision for 2025? How many of you can sit there and say, I've got a vision and I know what I'm carrying out in 2025? If you don't, you are not thinking like your most expanded version of self. You are thinking of the version of yourself that is stuck in the now. You need to start thinking bigger. It's not just about how do you feed yourself today. It's not just about how do I get a sale today. It's not just about right now. It's about the bigger evolution of your business and your brand. And until you can start to take that very, very serious, you're not fully invested in your business and in your brand. Now, there is always room along the way to make impulse decisions and to decide and to do things and to shift things up. But you have to know the overall energy of what you're creating inside of your world. Whew. I feel like we just cleared some serious throat energy there, you guys. So drop it in. What is your vision for 2025? What is your big, bold, expansive vision for 2025? If you knew you could have everything that you desired in 2025, what would be your big, bold, expressive feeling and desire for 2025? Let's drop it in. Let's lock it in. I know what my vision is. And by knowing my vision, I know how to get excited for my vision. But if you don't have this big, bold 2025 vision, the year will soon get the better of you. And you'll stop rapidly stepping into that new identity and serving yourself to the deepest potential. Now, what's going to happen now? This is just day one. There is going to be a post that comes on at 5 p.m. UK today into the Misfit group. This post is going to be day one visibility challenge. It's going to guide you into some really strong questions that are going to get you really stepping into those breakthroughs. I want you to be interactive. I want you to respond. I want you to really infuse in the content. And then Hannah is going to drop in and give you access to a document, which is going to guide you again deeper into some beautiful questions for day one visibility. Every day we'll have a live video. We will be back tomorrow for the second live video. Then you'll get another content post, and then you will get another workbook delivered directly to you. So drop me a 3 in the comments if you found this beneficial. Whew. If you're feeling like extra throwing yourself into the energy here. And remember, the reason why I say this is we have to get comfortable with taking up space. And this is the thing that I haven't touched on, that I said I was going to touch on, is taking up space. Because as you're challenging yourself and you're getting out of your comfort zone, it really is about taking up space. The more space you take up, the bigger the evolution. And I think women in general don't take up space because, one, we're scared that if we celebrate or think too highly of ourselves, we're going to be criticized. Again, bullshit. Like, I'm going to fucking celebrate myself. I'm going to take up space. I'm a powerhouse. Look at what I'm creating. I'm going to step into the energy of that. Or if we share the lows, then we're going to be judged and we're going to be dehumanized or whatever it may be. Like, you get to just take up space in whatever capacity that is. And let me tell you, I have gone into masterminds and groups and networking and communities and gained clients not by having to force myself to sell, but by showing up and participating. And so if I've ever said to you, we want to start networking more, we want to start opening up that flow of connection, that doesn't begin with you selling to an audience. That begins with you participating in an audience. And the biggest downfall that I see for entrepreneurs right now is they don't know how to network. They don't know how to just be present inside of a group. Imagine if you just went into your friendship group to say, do you know what, babes? Like, I took a private jet flight to the Bahamas and it was fucking magical. So fucking magical. And I had my hair team and this team. And they're trying to have a conversation about life. And you're just like, oh, do you know what, babe? Like, do you know what I did? Nobody likes that person because we're like, okay, celebrate yourself. I want to salute you. I want to celebrate you. But also I want to know that you're in this with me. Like, that's fucking stimulated, right? And so when I look at my friendship spaces, the places that activate me is the ones that can have those bigger conversations about money and business and expansion, but they can also be in that process of release and like honoring and allowing. And so when I say take up space, I mean, let people know that you're not just here to sell to them. Go and be visible. Let yourself connect. Let yourself be seen. That is all part of really learning to magnetize energy towards you, knowing that you don't need to be switched on in this false leadership. You just get to be and exist, and that's enough to activate the right community. So I'm going to leave you digesting all of this. Shani, I'll be coming to you very shortly in our one-to-one call. Get ready. There's some energy flowing. We're going to bring some magic, lots of love, and welcome to the Visibility Challenge.